The purpose of table topics is to help us learn to listen better, to think more quickly, thinking on our feet, and it's also to give more opportunities to speak. We've had a limited number so far, and now with these little short 1 to 2 minute speeches, many more people will have the opportunity. Now, I've chosen a theme tonight, and I really want you to take full advantage of the theme. It's a little bit unusual. These table topics are out of the ordinary, and so you really need to be thinking about this theme, which is shapes. Shapes. I'm going to be asking questions. I'm going to be asking you to speak on various topics related to shapes. Now think about all the shapes there are in the world. First of all, you have 2D shapes, two-dimensional shapes like squares or circles, triangles, any kind of polygon, an oval. You can think of some others. And then there's all kinds of three-dimensional shapes, like a box, whether it is a cube, or a sphere. We also usually call it a ball. There are pyramids, both four-sided and three-sided pyramids, or cylinders, and you can probably think of some other three-dimensional shapes. Road signs have particular and very familiar shapes. Which road sign shape appeals to you most? It can be for any kind of reason. It can be because of what the shape means, or just because you like that shape. Which road sign shape appeals to you most? Alan?
I think, speaking of road signs, one you encounter oftentimes in just in general life are yield signs. You come to a yield sign in life where you have to make a decision. Do I go forward or do I stay where I am? We talked a little bit about this last week, and you really need to be prepared to make that decision. Things we're doing here in Toastmasters, trying to get more comfortable with speaking and so forth, I think will help us move forward when other times we would yield to saying no. And I think a yield sign is the shape that first comes to mind.
When I'm on a road trip to Dallas, as I drive through the city of Dallas, I'm amazed at the shapes of some of the buildings. Very unusual. What building shape has impressed you? It doesn't have to be a building you've seen in Dallas, but just any building shape that you've ever seen. What impresses you? Sujay?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. Shapes. That's a big thing to answer. I think there are so many shapes. I think the most beautiful shape that comes to my mind when I think about a building is oval or a round shape, because I think you don't see those buildings that often as others, like you see square buildings, maybe octagonal buildings, maybe very common shapes, but you don't see many oval buildings. And oval buildings give you a perception that they are endless. They just don't end. If you look at the square building, you can take and look at the square building in one view. But for oval building, they just don't end. And I think it's just genius to architect some of those buildings. So I think I I like oval buildings other than any other shape.
Now, if we drive east instead of west, you go across the Interstate 40 bridge in Mississippi or Tennessee, and you come to that distinctive Memphis skyline, which is somewhat memorable. I used to live in Memphis. I used to like to come over the bridge and see that familiar skyline. Is there a city skyline that has a shape that has special meaning for you? Audrey?
Thank you, Toastmaster. And yes, no. I don't have, there isn't a single skyline that has significant meaning to me. Although in St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Islands, they have a unique statue that is very impressive. And it encourages everybody to visit. So that is the only one that I know.
Think about sports equipment and the shapes and sizes that come with that. Balls, bats, baseball bats, cricket bats. The shuttlecock and its shape from badminton. Rackets. The hockey puck. We could go on. Tell us how the shapes of the equipment affect one of your favorite sports. Aaron?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster Roger. I grew up playing basketball predominantly. I've run track, but I don't think there's really anything there except the oval in track. But that's not really a shape of the equipment. I guess you can call it track. But when I moved to Arkansas some 18 months ago, I decided to play soccer. I never played ever. And I thought, as a disadvantaged American, according to the rest of the world, football, as it should be called, American foot versus American pigskin, I decided to play soccer. And I've noticed that it's a lot harder than a basketball. It doesn't bounce quite the same. But it's a lot of fun. If you haven't ever played soccer, try to get out there. You can sign up. We have games out at Burns Park. They have an entire soccer complex, and you will enjoy the benefits of that wonderful round ball that the world so loves.
We associate certain shapes with specific topics, such as an octagon with a stop sign, or the faceted diamond with an engagement, or luxury. What do you most associate with the shape of a cylinder? What do you most associate with the shape of a cylinder? Will?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. A cylinder, to me, really reminds me of a can of Pringles. I love me some Pringles, and those cans, they're very distinctive. There's nothing else in the store, really, that comes in a cylinder like that. Maybe a can of Comet, but you're not going to eat that, right? But Pringles. And the funny thing about it is, though, they didn't make the cylinder wide enough to get your hand down into the can of Pringles. So you can only eat like the top 10, and then you have to start dumping it out of the cylinder. I don't understand why they made Pringles in a cylinder like that, but cylinders remind me of Pringles. Sure, Kevin, talk about it.
If you've been to Disney World, you've probably been to the Epcot Center and you've seen that gigantic geodesic dome that has become the symbol of Epcot Center. Can you think of another unusual structure shape that is closely associated associated with a particular place or topic. Can you think of another unusual structured shape that is closely associated with a particular place or topic? And if I call on you and you need me to, I can give you a hint. Paul?
The first thing that comes to mind when you say that is the St. Louis Arch. Actually, we didn't get to go in that because we got there too late in the day, but I did get a chance to go in the Space Needle and scaffolds. That was really cool to get on top of that, and you can see the entire city. And you can see certain things that you miss just driving around. So those are very distinctive aspects of those cities, and that's what I think of.
The shape of the Valentine is very meaningful to many people. Can you think of a story that goes with that traditional heart shape? Wilma?
Thank you, Roger, fellow Toastmasters and our guests. When I think of a heart, I think of Valentine's Day. And my husband always goes and gets a big box of chocolates, the kind that he likes. I give him hints every year that I like peanuts and things in. Well, he likes none of that. He likes just pure chocolate. But the worst thing about it is he comes in and he hides the package. And then when it's Valentine's Day, he has it out there on the table and he has a card. And he said, "Do you know how much I paid for this card?" As if that was romantic. But it meant something to him. And he has even been known to take that card and hide it and use it again the next year so he doesn't have to buy it. That's what the heart means to me.
Hey, Doyle, he's a real romantic, isn't he? The swastika hasn't always been associated with evil, but the use of it by Nazis has made it off limits for use. I've actually heard recently that there's a group trying to rehabilitate the swastika. What good topic would you like the swastika to be associated with instead of the Nazis? Stellas?
Thank you, table topic master, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. First of all, a disclaimer, I am not from Germany. And much before Hitler used swastika, in Indian culture there was a reverse sign of the swastika. Usually swastika you right to left, yes, but there is a reverse side which has been auspicious in Indian culture, especially Hindu mythology. We have very significant, a lot of significance on that particular sign. I don't want to go into the details, but it's very auspicious. So if they could reverse the sign and use that, there it is.
Ben, this one's for you. Is there a shape that bugs you and you'd like to get rid of it because of the topic it's associated with, or just because you don't like the shape? Is there a shape that bugs you and you want to get rid of it?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and thank you for that challenging table topic shape. A shape that I don't like to get rid of. Well, that would mean that a lot of things would change if there was indeed a shape things like the Space Needle is something that's a shape that's, it's nice, but it's not necessarily necessary. It adds to our enjoyment. It's also another needle, similar needle in Las Vegas, where you can enjoy. If you don't want to fly helicopters, helicopters, it's a shame. What about helicopters? We need to get rid of that shame. Why not just pick that? Not for not any particular reason, but there would be a shape, again, it would have to be a shape we would not use a lot, and I would think helicopter is one that we can do without, since we got airplanes.
Thanks for thinking about shapes with me tonight.